hey, I've got a new car, I've got some new toys, and I thought it'd be cool to kind of show off a couple of the things that I've got going on inside my new car. So this car, which you're sitting in right now, this is a 2018 Jeep Wrangler Sahara. It's the JL model, if you haven't seen one of those. And I'm actually not talking about the car really at all, because this should work with most cars that have Bluetooth. But I wanted to show you a couple of cool things that I'm actually doing with Alexa. So the first is, I'm going to grab the camera here and just give you a quick tour. And you can see that I have a display in my car here, and I'm using Apple's CarPlay. So that's a piece of this, but not really. I could completely do this all with Bluetooth as well. And when we're at the end here, I'll show that as well. But you can do this with Bluetooth or with CarPlay. But the idea is that I have Alexa built right into my car. So you can see I have the normal display panel and everything you'd see here, the audio and the heat and everything. And then over there I have my phone. So one thing that a lot of people haven't seen before is that I actually have this little device that's sitting here. It's from WizGear. And it's just a little magnet. It's nothing terribly significant, but it's really strong. You can see I can just throw my phone and it sits right up there. And what's actually happening is in my case, behind the phone, I have a little metal plate that sits there. And so it's magnetically sticking to that metal plate. And so I can just take my phone, toss it there. It's a nice way to add it to your dashboard without having to mount it inside some kind of weird kit or something like that. And then I also have a short USB cable here, and I use that to plug my phone in. And once my phone's plugged in, you can see that CarPlay will automatically kick in and that it's ready to go. So I know I told you this video is about Alexa. I just want to give you a feel for kind of what my setup is and how things are plugged in. But again, you don't have to use something like CarPlay. This will work with any phone and car that can connect to each other via Bluetooth. So the last piece to this, and the exciting piece, is this little device that's sitting up here behind my rear view mirror. I don't know how well you can see it, but this is called the Garmin Speak. I'll come around the other side so you can kind of see how I have it set up. And there's a couple of cool features that are baked into this. So the first is, of course, that Alexa's built into it. And when I say her name in a minute, you'll see it light up. But it also is a dash cam. So you can see and have recordings of anything that's happening as you're driving. And so as a dash cam, it works very well. I'll show that here in a second. But I first want to show the Alexa functionality. So I'm just going to put the camera right here on the back of it. And I'm going to say, Alexa, shuffle my July 4th playlist. Alexa, shuffle my July 4th playlist.
Shuffling your playlist, July 4th. Another app has control of media. Open the Speak app on your phone to play Alexa Media.
Interesting. All right, so I'm going to take a step back here, and we're going to unlock my phone. What you can see here is I have the Garmin Speak app running on my phone, and just by opening up the app, that allowed that to happen. I think it was because my phone was locked. So you can see that there's an app that's running on my phone. This is actually what provides all the functionality. Without this app, the device itself can't talk to Alexa or do any of those things. So I'm going to turn the audio down here for just a minute so you can hear me talk. But the app gives you a few bits of functionality. This is really, really very cool. One, it shows me that it's connected to the device, so we can actually talk to Alexa. Two, I can see the dash cam is currently recording, and I can view a gallery. I can tell it to save a video or take a picture right now, which when you're in an interesting intersection or you see an accident happen or something like that, that's a good time to make sure that you tell it to save that specific video. And then there's some driver assistance stuff. If the camera thinks that you're going to run into the car in front of you or run into something in front of you, the forward collision, you can see that I have that on. There's also lane departure. I've turned that off because it seems a little sensitive, but it is kind of nice to know if you've drifted over a line. It's keeping track of that for you. And the last one, I think, is for those drivers that aren't paying enough attention. If you're sitting at a red light and maybe you're paying attention to your phone or something like that, and the light turns green, it'll beep at you and let you know that, hey, you should go. So those are a few things that are going on there. You can also use this, because this is a Garmin device, you can use it to get directions. But I have that built into a couple of other devices that I have. I have here in my car, I have a navigation tool, which is really well done and convenient. I also have, because I have CarPlay, I also have Apple Maps available to me here. And I can get directions and things just like that as well. So in each of these cases, I have a lot of places that do directions already, so I'm not as worried about the directions functionality of it, but it is nice to have if you don't have that stuff built into your car already, and it does a good job. So the device itself, as I showed, you can say simple things like, Alexa, stop, and she will stop playing the music here in just a moment. There we go. I can also do things like, Alexa, tell me a joke. This is taking longer than it normally does, but for the most part, what I found is that it's very responsive. Let's try that again. Alexa, tell me a joke.
Which baseball team always has a sense of déjà vu? The New York Haven't We Mets.
Wow. So the jokes are still bad, even when you're on an Alexa device in your car. You can see that I have the Garmin Speak app running. One of the other cool things that I'd like to show you is the actual camera that's built into it. And so you can see, like I said, that there's a camera that's built into this device that sticks to my windshield. And we want to be able to actually see that stuff. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to hit View Camera, and hit Continue. What actually happens on the device, which we should see here turn on in a second, is that it actually broadcasts a Wi-Fi signal. And then I need to try and connect to that Wi-Fi signal here on my phone. So normally it happens automatically, but of course when I'm trying to record a video, that's the time that it doesn't work. So let me try connecting to the Wi-Fi here. All right, because the weather is so beautiful in Ohio, you can see that it has started to rain, which is going to add a little audio to everything that I'm talking to you about here. But all I really wanted to show is a couple of last things inside the Garmin Speak app. So the first is, you can see that now the device recognizes that I'm connected to it via Wi-Fi from my phone. And then if we come down to the actual app itself, you can see here that it's asking me to use the crosshairs to aim the camera. This is when you want to set your camera up and be able to make sure that it's pointing straight and isn't at a weird angle or anything like that. But what should be happening here is that I should actually be seeing the video coming out of my, oh, that was perfect timing. I should see the video coming out of my webcam. And so, or the dash cam, I should say. And so you can see that it started to load here. But if I do something just to modify it, so I'm not going to drive a lot. I'm sitting in an empty parking lot, so we won't move far. But if I just back up a little bit and turn, we should be able to see that video change. Although normally you wouldn't have that green box there. It seems like maybe it's having some issues transmitting the video to the phone. But it is recording, and at some point we'll probably see that update if I wait long enough. But that's the general idea, is that I have the ability to record a full-time dash cam on my windshield, but I also have Alexa baked right into my car, which means I can access all of my music playlists. I can access any of the Alexa skills that I like to use. There have been a couple of shortcomings that I've found. One is that the device doesn't seem to be able to make phone calls, so where you would normally like drop in on another Alexa device or something like that, it will stop you from doing that. It says it's not capable of doing that. And the other one that I was surprised by was that it doesn't yet have integration with Spotify. And so I have music on Amazon Music Unlimited as well as Spotify, and I'm actually trying to make the transition. And so in the process of having both of them, all of the playlists and everything that I have on Amazon Music Unlimited works very well. But I'm finding that when I ask for Spotify, this device specifically can't pull from Spotify yet. So I'm imagining that will be a software update that comes at some point. But for now, that's the limitation. So we seem to have lost my video feed from my camera, but it is still working. So I'm going to hit disconnect on the camera. We're back into recording mode. So I'll jump back here to the Garmin Speak app. It looks like I lost connectivity there for a second, and you can see that now it's connected, and I get that nice noise in the background. So that's all working. So with that, what I'm going to do is queue up my playlist again and head home. Thanks for watching. Alexa, shuffle my July 4th playlist.
Shuffling your playlist, July 4th.